this mug. This one where the only visible segments of the message included travel safe. And it was a letter that she wrote to Santa and signed from her kids. A little strange on the surface, as we previously mentioned. It really should be done by the children in the kids' writing for it to be a true keepsake that's, worth it. Remember?
I'm a real mom.
But you know what it got me thinking about? Meghan and Harry's travel safe obsession. Now, of course, we should all travel safe. That's a relatively normal thing to say. No big deal. Not trying to make mountains out of molehills or anything like that. Not like the Meg does. Oh, no. But Meghan claimed a while back, she made a really big deal of it. I think it was in the Netflix, that Archie, when he was barely 2 years old, was telling everyone to travel safe when saying goodbye. He was like, travel safe, travel safe, travel safe. She said this and she was like, he's not even 2 and he's always saying it and it's so cute. That's what she claimed. And she made a big deal of it. So it really, it stands out in my mind. And we've also seen how she worked Harry up in that same Netflix series about trying to travel somewhere, driving somewhere, and claiming that there was paparazzi following them, which it was fabricated. You could tell they were trying to act, trying to pretend, but they weren't. But she was kind of working him up about it. She kept saying things about safety first and stuff like that. And now we have this mug. So like I said, on the surface, travel safe is not bad, obviously. But we know how Harry appears like he's having a hard time moving forward. He appears rather fixated on how Diana passed away. And the Meg has demonstrated a willingness to use this to work up Harry and get him anxious like she did in that Netflix series. And it leads me to wonder how this whole travel safe sort of obsession could be playing out behind the scenes. Just conjecture. It feels clearly rooted in Diana's passing, and it can then have a negative impact on the kids by sort of creating this anxious energy around travels. It feels like that's why they taught Archie to say travel safe when he was a baby and a toddler, was because Diana, Grandma Diana, didn't. And that's why she isn't here, because she didn't travel safe. That's the impression that they're giving their children. And especially in this particular family, where Harry and Meghan are often away and traveling alone or together away from the kids, leaving the kids home alone. That having the kids have that impression and that sort of rooted within the family narrative and way of speaking, of saying travel safe and stuff, and knowing that that comes from the fact that Princess Diana passed away in a car crash, then whoosh, off go the parentals on trips all the time, frequently, then it sounds like a little bit of a sticky situation to me. Because kids often model their parents, and this whole thing feels very much like a fear-based sort of thinking and anxiety induced situation, and it's kind of ingrained in the family, it would appear. We've seen Harry's fixation on Diana's passing not turn out well. Even in his own words, he didn't deal with it positively. And it's added a lot of stress. So it's surprising to me that they have taken this approach, allegedly, of continuing to carry on that anxious narrative through how they're raising the kids. By continuing to frame daily events like travel around the trauma of Princess Diana's death, it really can have a significant negative impact on Harry and his kids because it's a perpetuation of that trauma and it continually reminds himself of that loss every single time. And a lot of observers have felt that Meghan Markle seems to have reignited these fears in Harry. These worries in Harry seemed to have gotten worse once he got with Meghan, because she herself and Harry have revealed that Meghan complained to Harry a lot about not feeling protected and things like that. And so instead of calming his fears and helping him continue to grow and move forward, to many people, it seems that Meghan is repeatedly turning Harry's head back to look at that trauma time and time again and that sadness again and be reminded of it and sort of ruminate on that anxiety. For both Harry and his children, the risk is that the story of Diana's tragic accident becomes a daily narrative of potential danger rather than a past event that, while deeply impactful, has been processed and integrated in a way that allows for a secure and functional present and future. Managing one's own anxiety through self-care and professional help can interrupt this pattern and promote a healthier emotional framework for the entire family, But if it's combated negatively with these sorts of reminders and contextualizing just everyday travel in this way of it's something to be fearful of, that you need to almost exclusively say travel safe, it just seems a little strange given the full picture of things. A lot of people think that this is one of the ways that Meghan appears to manipulate Harry into worrying about security, for example, and avoiding going back to the UK as some sort of power play within the relationship, of something that Meghan consistently reminds him of and wants to keep as a sort of form of control, and that's in part why this narrative has been kept so strong. Others think that it stems from the attention and drama that it creates for Meghan, but I would like to know what you think. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a happy day ahead, and I will see you next time. Bye!